Okay, self-discipline is a tough subject. Or for myself, my better knowledge, it is not a tough subject. For my nature, it's a very tough subject. As Paul the Apostle says, when I would do good, evil is always present. The things that I desire not to do, I do, and the things that I wish to do, I don't. Isn't that true for many of us? Self-discipline says that we continue moving forward and we continue doing what's right. Oftentimes when we look at self-discipline, we look at ourselves through the lenses of self-discipline. It is like looking into a broken mirror. Can anybody relate to that? With that, when you look into that broken mirror, you see so many flaws and things no longer match up. Part of the body is down or off to the side, and part of it is a different direction when you're looking into a broken mirror. You see multiples in different areas. That's kind of what it looks like when you decide to have self-discipline in your life. But without self-discipline, life is far worse. I would rather go through the pain of self-discipline than the pain and the results of choosing no self-discipline. Self-discipline says I'm not going to focus on building the largest wall in the world or the largest company in the world. Yes, I might have that desire. But what I focus on is if I'm building a wall the very next brick or block that I lay will be laid as perfectly as any can be laid. In other words, there's no block or brick laid better in the whole world than the very next one that I'm going to set down and the one that I'm doing right now. And I get done with this one and I pick another one up. I know that I'm building a large wall, but I'm not focused on the large wall. I'm focused on this brick. How will I lay this brick better than any or as good as any brick has ever been laid in the world? How can I do that? And then I lay that brick properly, and I do it with the absolute most excellence that I can possibly provide with my skill set at that moment. But guess what? After 3 days of doing that, my skill is no longer the same as it was when I started. You may become the best recruiter and the best salesperson in the world, but it's okay to have that vision, and it's important to have a goal. But your next goal is now, your action step to that is to make that next phone call the most productive phone call you've ever made, the most compassionate, most caring, the phone call that you listen when the person shares things that's going on for them, the phone call that lets the person hop off the phone and say, I was in the presence of a man that actually cared, or a woman that actually cared, a lady that was there and really wasn't focused on herself but focused on what I needed. Maybe you're going to be focused on being the best baker in the world, but to do that, you will focus on the very next loaf of bread that you're baking and making that one the best one that you've ever done up to this point or that anybody has ever done. And ultimately, you will have a business that is the best in the world. You will have the biggest wall and the best wall that's ever been built in the world because you focused on that one brick at a time. You focused on that one loaf of bread at a time. You focused on that one phone call at a time. You focused on that one meeting at a time. You focus on that one piece of a craft or whatever it is that you're building on one at a time. You focus on that to become the absolute best. Your job isn't building anything. Your job may be to design, or your job may be to bring in more customers. And so the next phone call that you make, the next person you talk to, you're doing this with the greatest level of excellence and doing this the best you can possibly do. Self-discipline. Now, there's another side of self-discipline. This side of self-discipline says, I would so love to go out and gorge myself tonight. I feel like having a big steak dinner, a 12-ounce or a 20-ounce or something like that. But your little voice inside of your head says, no, you know better. That's not going to be good for you. Self-discipline is not eating the thing that you would love to eat because you know what you want at the end of the day. I got such a big chuckle. I was with a wonderful individual. I shared with him as he was getting ready to take a big hunk of bread, I shared with him how that's not so good. And before I got done saying it, he gobbled a whole bunch of it down really quick, knowing what was coming out, and didn't want me to finish it before he had it in his mouth so he could finish eating what he wanted to eat. I understand. I've been there myself. Totally understand. But I had to get a chuckle out of it. When the mind wants self-discipline, But the body says, no, not today. Wait till tomorrow to start self-discipline. Please don't start today. Anybody ever felt that way? I want some self-discipline today. I want to eat better. I want to act better. I want to read more. I want to be a better person. But can I just put it off one more day? There's still things I'd like to do today to feel good. There's maybe that shot of whiskey would be so good tonight. I promise I'll start my self-discipline tomorrow. I'll discipline myself. I'll make good choices. I'll do the things that need to be done. I'll do them right. I'll follow the system. I'll be that. I'll go make those sales starting next week, but this week I can't. I've got church things going on. I just can't do that. I can't. I'd rather take what other people bring in and take from them. But self-discipline says figure it out and start today. Don't wait until tomorrow. I've been there when I knew I needed self-discipline, but I wanted to put it off until the next day. Why do I have to start today? But you see, self-discipline doesn't have to be punishment. Yet for many people, it feels like punishment. It doesn't have to be punishment. Self-discipline is about looking at the bigger picture and saying, oh, but if I do start today, I have a head start. I will be ahead of the game, and I'm not taking the risk of talking myself out of it. If I start today, I'll be one step closer to where I want to be tomorrow, and it'll be a little bit easier. And guess what? In 6 months from now, I'll be so grateful that I started today. I'll be so grateful that I took the right steps today, made the right choices, disciplined myself. It feels so much better. Self-confidence, so much of me. I quit blaming others when I take self-discipline. A person that doesn't have self-discipline will constantly be blaming others for their lack of success or their lack of whatever else. They cannot help it. They have to. Because if you take self-responsibility, self-discipline has to start operating. Self-discipline cannot operate in the mind of a person that blames others. Self-discipline can only operate in the person that knows he or she is responsible for their actions. And that, yes, I might have had a dysfunctional upbringing. I might have been mistreated. I might have been abused. I might have had all those things. I cannot change that. But what I can change is what I do today, the self-discipline that I bring to my life today. The choices that I make today. It's not going to be easy because the mind does not want to discipline itself. The mind doesn't like doing that. It wants to do what feels good. It wants to eat what tastes good. It doesn't want to run a little bit or walk a little bit. It doesn't want to do those things. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. But that deeper self inside of you that knows what's right keeps nudging at you. That's why this call was requested. That's why I find it slightly difficult to do the call, is because I constantly am challenged with self-discipline. Yes, I have disciplined myself a long ways. I'll look back and say, you've come a long way from 20 years ago. I had gift back then and a little bit of skill, but I needed self-discipline to make that gift become more productive and more valuable and to serve the greater amount of people. When I decided to do this leadership call, many leaders were calling for it, asking for it. It took a ton of self-discipline to stay with it every morning. But, that's what self-discipline does, is it changes your life and changes other people's lives. But then again, I have disciplined myself through so much. You'd think it's easy to have self-discipline in your life moving forward. No, everything that you get to overcome is another battle. It's another mountain. And self-discipline demands so much of you to step over, climb that next mountain. But let me tell you what it's like on the other side. Guys, I can't put it into words. It is so good. It feels so good. There's so much that I could talk about this morning that I am overjoyed and grateful for, and just thank God that I made the choices I made at one point and where it's put me today. And yes, I'm so grateful for those. But the duration of making those choices and staying with them wasn't easy. Sometimes it brought tears, and sometimes it brought all night staying up, and when I couldn't sleep because of mind battles going on and worried about what's going to happen, when I knew better than worrying. Because it didn't change anything. It didn't make anything better by worrying about it, right? But self-discipline picks yourself up the next day when you're red-eyed and tired and exhausted, and you get back on that call and you strive to bring value and not let it be heard in your voice that you're tired. Not let it be heard that You're mentally choosing into being exhausted, but pick yourself up and go again. You see, guys, all those things happen. But at the end of the day, would I do it over again? Yes, my friends, 1,000 times over. Would I do this again? All but I would do it a bit faster. I would do it with more intention. I would do it with more tenacity. I would stay the course a little bit longer. I'd work a little bit harder. I'd make another extra sale. I'd make another extra phone call. I'd coach another extra person. I'd encourage someone to step out of their comfort zone a little bit more. I'd encourage someone to take bigger risk. Now, I'm not talking about financial risk. I'm talking about risk that risks your ego, those types of risks. But guys, self-discipline will put you where you want to be down the road. May not feel good today. You may want to put it off to tomorrow and say, Al, why did you have to talk about self-discipline this morning? Let me enjoy the day. I have plans on eating lots of ice cream tonight, but I do want to release a bunch of weight. I don't want to wait until tomorrow. I don't want to start today. I will start tomorrow. Please don't. Start today. Make this your day to start your self-discipline. Don't wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow may never come, but also, if you submit yourself to waiting until tomorrow, it will be so easy because tomorrow will have a new level of reasons why you should wait until the next day. And if you do it again, by the third day, you have a trainload of reasons why you should wait until the fourth day. By the fourth day, you just say, forget it, whatever, let me go on. When I get ready, I'll do it. And then life continues. The same results happen, same responses come in, the same debts aren't paid, the same bills come in too fast, too quick, and they're not being handled, and the same depression wants to show up in your mind. But self-discipline can be the answer to all of that, but it'll take you making that choice today. Thank you, guys. Make it a great day. And Mary, thank you again for requesting that. And as always, remember, guys, don't settle for less than who you are. May God bless you.